need money, this a triple threat. Really started with nothing, had to manifest. If you don't know your worth, they gon' give you less. Why they envy me? Cause I'm the best. MVP. My legacy is how they remember me. And I know success brings your enemies.
Welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. And we got a very special guest today. But first, I'm one of your hosts, Vic Gurley, aka MVP Vic.
And your other host, Chris Bruce, aka Detroit Mogul.
Last but not least, PK609.
And today, we have the man of Tampa, Full Moon Brandon, leader of the Wolves, Mr. Deni Brave.
How's everybody doing?
Man, we happy to have you on, man.
Absolutely, bro.
Appreciate the invite, fellas. Appreciate the invite.
You
About time, right?
Yeah, man.
About
Listen, I've been following, season 1 was fire, and I get to be on season 2, so I'm excited.
That's true. He's been one of my biggest supporters, man. So glad to finally get you on here, bro.
For sure.
What you guys do, especially the conversations, so it's always good.
So I want to know, what got you into the nightlife business? Because, bro, I've been partying since I was 16, and I wanted to get into nightlife, more ownership, but I love the club. I love the party, man. And I never thought about being a promoter or anything like that. But anyways, what led you to go and say, you know what? I want to make money partying.
So for me, it started a couple of years. It started back, 17, 18? So my cousin used to work for Headliner. So the guys who do Live on Sunday.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So he used to work with them and promote for them back when they were at Crew and Y. So this is before Live even was made.
That's
back
throwback.
Crew and Y was the hottest shit. Everybody's gonna be in that sucker. And I was on the street team, just passing out flyers, doing stuff like that. But I was a video guy, so I knew how to take pictures and videography. I ended up working with Ace Hood and DJ Khaled, becoming their marketing guys, doing videos with them, touring when Ace got signed to Khaled and everything. And that kind of opened my door into the entertainment business, and then being more involved with nightlife, meeting artists and stuff like that. And when I moved to LA, I got an internship with Gil Green, who's a music video director in Miami.
Yeah.
But he did stuff in Cali and all that. And I was like, yo, I want to get into television, the broadcast of sports, but I like partying. He's like, well, LA is that place. I got an opportunity. So he got me to work for CBS. So I did CBS during the day and then nightlife at night. And just like anybody else, meet people. Can you bring people to the club? Yeah, all right, cool. How many? Bring 10 people, bring 12, bring 15. You get $2, $3 off of it back then. It wasn't until one of the promoters started telling me, how you really make the money is become a VIP host. And that's when it was all right, cool. And the way the VIP host side works in LA and New York, because I ended up working there down the line, it was you got a chance you had to make those connections. So you had to know the owners and the managers of the clubs, the hotels, the, any little restaurants here and there, so that if someone wanted something, you would have plugged, or you knew how to take care of them without them even knowing. It's like with Vic, I tell him all the time, I know what he don't want to drink. I know what he like to sit. I know who he doesn't want around him, just based off the energy. That came from me being 2021 learning it. It wasn't until maybe 23, 24 when I left and went to got my master's here at USF, and then left and went to New York, and I started working for the Tao Group. And I was like, all right, these guys started with an old factory warehouse, and they built it up from there. Now they got 34 venues around the country, and 2 white guys. One grew up in Naples, the other one grew up in Miami. Actually went to school with David Grutman, that whole thing. And I was like, yo, where's the black guy of that?
Exactly, right?
I was like, where's the black guy of that? Right. But those guys were good at what they do. And during that time, those early years, it was all about brand activation. So if you knew a Kim Kardashian, if you knew the what's his name, the Amber Roses, or Chloe's husband, those kind of guys, you get them with your product. That's what they were doing. You got Grey Goose coming out, Ciroc coming out. Boom, I'm gonna get them with this artist, product placement. You know, that build the relationships, and then those people end up coming in. And I just started learning that. Like in New York, if you can get clients in the financial district, you're gonna make bread because they got money to blow.
Right.
They coming in 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 in a night, you know, and then they want to do it all over again. New York was what really taught me, like, if you want to really be in this, learn operations. And I started learning the operation side of everything. You know, so you did the partying, got a chance to, you know, live the life and hang out with people. But when you really start knowing how it works, like what the budgeting costs, how, you know, labor, when you know about, you know, liquor costs and how that stuff affects you, how to price out your margins and all that. When I figured that out, I was like, yeah, I can't go underneath anybody. And that's really what, when I came to Tampa, it was looking at that same mindset. It was, all right, what everybody doing? All right, everyone's on hip hop, trap music, this and that. All right, cool. I'm gonna go over here and just create something different and run it myself. You know, find a place, pay it like it's a regular rent, like if I was paying my house, and do it from there. You know, and I build it from there.
Man, that was a lot, man.
So that's how Love Jones was born. Huh?
Hey, when did you start it?
I started Love Jones in 2017. But I was thinking about moving back here in 2015. I was actually living in New Orleans. I was in New Orleans, and I called my homies that still live here because I would come visit like every summer just to come hang out. I'm like, guys, I'm like, yo, I think I want to come back to Tampa. They're like, for what? Bro, you live in New Orleans, you work for the Superdome, you got all this stuff. I'm like, man, I'm tired. I want to own my own shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
you know, and they, out of the 7, only 4 of them was like, all right, cool. What's up? What you need from us? You know? And once I got here and started moving, then the other one was like, okay, now we understand what you're trying to do. You know? And they kind of came on and supported. But for the most part, that was my whole thing. Like, most people don't know that I work for the Lightning, but that was never the goal. The goal was always to come here, create Love Jones, build off of that, and then hopefully, you know, get my own venues and become my own day Grutman.
So how do you go about building that team? You said, you know, you had a group already. Some were on board, some, you know, they had to get there. So I guess what was your process or your procedure to kind of get people to see your vision?
I think for me, when I started, you know, my 2 main guys, Alex Duke and Jeff, those guys just wanted, when I moved away, when I lived in New York, they were the ones that were always hitting me up like, yo, look at this, you know, he's in the 15th floor working in the Google building and all this stuff. It was like, yo, what's up? When you got some other plays, let us know, you know? And I just looked for that. I looked for who was the hungriest, you know, and those guys were hungry. And I was like, yo, let's do it. DJ Brightlight and Mr. Marble, who my host, like those guys, I known them since they were in sophomores at USF, you know, when I met them, like that's 10 years ago, you know? They always had them 2 together, and that was like the dynamic duo. You know, I was like, yo, I need DJs. I need a DJ and I need a host. This is what we're gonna do. And they're like, yo, we'll do it. The funny thing was, I was actually building them for this 10 years ago. Like DJ Brightlight had 3 mixtapes that we did that were all about R&B music. You know, Mr. Marvel had a radio show that I help him, you know, set it up and make sure like the production side and all the operation. I was like, you go be the face, I handle the back end, you know? So I already had those kind of people in play. And then Jessica, you know, Jessica was like a little sister, you know, always on the scene for her being in faces and, you know, doing the modeling thing and wanting to be a stylist. I was like, listen, you know, a lot of people, you work at BMW, you got relationships. I'm going to make you a VIP host. Because, like, people come to you anyways. Like, people come out of town, they ask you what's going on, this and that. I'm going to show you how to get to the next level. So everyone had a part that they could play, but it was just basically just versions of me. I couldn't do everything. You know, I know how to do everything, but I really couldn't do everything. So I started giving the ones that I already knew had little things. And, hey, you handle this, you handle that, you handle this. You know, and then from time as we grew, the parties grew and tables grew and stuff like that, I needed more people. So I kind of use the same thing. You know, like right now, Dexter's over VIP. And I know D-Link. Back when we were in Miami, D-Link used to work for the varsity group. So like, you know, we used to do Mokai and, you know, those things. And I was on the headliner side. So it was like we grew up kind of competing against each other. You know, and then to come here, we look at things the same way because he lived in New York. He's done parties in Orlando. He's done parties in Miami. So he got that part of it. Like, we don't want to do we love Tampa. Hey, Tampa's a great place to live, but we didn't want to do that. Like we were so used to the bigger city products. So he was one of those people that I was like, yo, let's put that in the mix. And then everyone else that was on my team were really just people I've met along the way that they were hungry or either they wanted to get out of what they were already doing. You know? So it's like my bar manager, he's working almost maybe 6 or 7 bars in Tampa, but he's an amazing mixologist. Like this guy can make you Chuck can make you a cocktail. Like you like, yo, what is in this? And it'll be gin. Wow. You know, most people don't drink. Black people don't drink gin.
Nah, we don't.
But he'll put something together.
That gin
and you
make
like,
you
yo,
sin,
for
what
real.
is this? You know? And I wanted guys like that. You know, Ralph, who oversees like promotion for me, and Ralph is a Haitian promoter. He's really big in the Haitian market, Afro and Caribbean market, because he does like comedy shows. But Ralph was one of those guys who don't matter what you need done, because he, as a promoter, he runs his own events. He knew it. So he was like, yo, this needs to be done. He don't even question about it. He just goes and take care of it. So I try to look for that. Like I try to look for people who are just as hungry as me. They might not know everything, but their hunger won't allow them to like kind of be stagnant. You know, they'll try to figure it out. And if they do mess up, they'll apologize for it, or they're like, yo, help me out, you know?
Right.
Like, and then I had other people along the way, like Zakia, kind of helped me in the background on helping developing my staff. My partners now, they help me on a lot of the operation, just kind of clear up thinking. And then, I got Shay, who kind of handles all of our special events. Aisha, she handles talent relations for like our Monday night. So Aisha's an amazing singer, which most people wouldn't know. So when it came down to like booking artists and booking people to perform, listen, singers recognize singers, So everyone kind of has like their realm of what they do and what I'm used to. And I just, give them the opportunity to do it.
That's super dope, man. Cause me and Vic always talk about this too, man. It's challenging to find a solid team, man. That like you were the visionary and having a whole bunch of different integrators in a sense, you know what I'm saying, that follows your vision. It's like, yo, this is where we going. Let's just everybody, get into your position that fits you for us to get to that vision. You know what I'm saying? It's challenging to find. Like I said, me and he'll talk about this all the time, man.
Boy,
it's hard.
Hey, I be hitting my head on the wall trying to figure this shit out. Like,
man,
that's why that was my question, because I'm thinking like it's I've been to multiple events. It's a well-oiled machine, so. Thanks. It's like, man,
I appreciate
what
that.
the hell am I? What am I missing?
Like, for us, what's crazy is that people see it. They see the end product, and it's like, oh, the experience was dope. That's what we want. Like, we want you to come and have a great time. But most people don't know. I be yelling at my staff almost every day. Phone going off, losing that, and
right.
And there's like the when you talk about the executives who kind of, moving, making graphics and talking and having meetings and trying to run things, it's really the regular staff, like my bottle girls, my floor backs, my VIP hosts, like, those are the ones that really get into it. On each team, at least half the team has been with me since the beginning. So they already know how I am. They know, listen, we better do this, because if not, Deni's going to spaz out, right. Type thing. There's a lot of new people that came aboard, and, they're getting that. I try not to get too much involved in it, because I have like other projects and other concepts in the works. But for this, it was like, just for what we did right now with the Sunset Room, like for us, it was, I wanted to create something that I was like, yo, what is this?
Right.
If the team don't make sense, or they can't do what needs to be done, no one would come. Like, so for me, it's that those employees and those people who are actually in the front line, my front of house team, they the one, and then my VIP team, listen, they sellers, man. They try to book everything they can, and they take care of people. Like, I think that's the other thing is, in this nightlife thing, what I've learned, take care of people. Yeah. The money's gonna come regardless, right? But take care of people. If you provide an experience and they see something that they didn't even expect, that's going
like the triple threat sign.
Oh man, listen, that was
definitely
legendary.
didn't expect that, but
man.
yeah,
listen,
we were like, damn. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's
I love
never
doing
happened to
those.
me.
Though.
That was
I love
dope.
doing those.
Yeah. Nah, that was dope. And listen, for everybody that's watching this, of course, because we got so many people from all over the country and everywhere else, like when it comes to, nightlife in Tampa, all right, Deni's definitely running the show. And again, we're talking about Love Jones for a lot of you that probably, if you've never been to Tampa, you never been here on a Thursday, #1 R&B spot. You won't come to Tampa and get another R&B experience better than what he provides, period.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so just wanted to throw that out there for, we got people all over the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So let me ask.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me ask you this, right? So I heard you mention you had multiple projects going on, right? So my understanding is that you are also a person that works for a company and also an entrepreneur. So you do both.
Yeah.
How do you manage working for a company during the day or whenever you have the events or whatever else with them, running your business and then many projects? How do you handle that?
I only sleep 3 hours a day.
Oh shit.
Hey, somebody else that understand.
Like real stuff. Like I'm usually up by 5:30, 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And my mind is, from the time I'm up, my mind is going. I might wait an hour or two before I jump out of bed. I pray. I really think about what's going on. And sometimes in my dreams, like, my lady, she'll be like, you were talking in your sleep last night. You remember what you said? I said, yeah, I remember what I said. Type thing. Like those things is what kind of keeps me. But my day job, like I said, I've been doing production, working that kind of stuff since I was like 17, 18 years old. So that's like this. The challenge is I'm a manager and I handle a $4 million control room, and I got two staff members on a regular day, and I got 30 on an event day. That I have to deal with, and if equipment fails or something like that, I got to fix it. But it's like the same thing on this side. On the business side, I got maybe 4 people that I'm talking to every day, but I got 42 employees, where if someone has a concern, this and that, they don't want to go to their manager. They want to come talk to me because they know me. You know how big corporations, you probably never see your owner.
Yep.
But when you're a small business and you're trying to grow like that, everyone has access to you. What I've learned is as you get higher, you think you can separate it. You try to, but what makes it so great in the beginning is you being involved, your employees being able to talk to you. I had one of my girls hit me up today about something that happened the last Love Jones or two events ago, and she just she had a little concern, and I was like, hey, took the time, talked to her, explained to her, and that's part of it. You know what I'm saying, like I can't run away from it. That's really what makes it. Because if she's not comfortable, or if she doesn't have a clear understanding of what's going on or why something happened and no one explained it to her, she's gonna want to come to me. And if I can't give that to her, then who else can? I take that in the same manner as my day job. Like if an issue happened and my boss finds out about it down the line, or one of my employees, something happened and he doesn't know how to fix it, he come to me. I just don't sleep. 3 hours, I'm back up and I go through
Ready
it.
to get to it.
What's up, man?
Yeah. So talk a little bit about I know we've talked about it, between us. Kind of some of the techniques, the practices that you've taken from the larger markets and brought here, which Tampa is a smaller market. It's growing, but it didn't have the things that you brought. So what are some of those techniques, some of those practices that you brought from those other markets to here?
Yeah. I would say the one thing is I go to everybody's stuff, right? Like, you never not see me. It don't matter who it is, a QC, affiliates, 7th, Lit, 6482, Morris, Next Level, Rob, Rico. It doesn't, I'm one of those people, because when you a VIP host, you got to be able to get everywhere.
Yeah.
You don't necessarily, you might have your own company and you work with different owners and people. So I always took that as the practice for me. It's like, I don't have issues with anybody, so I go to everybody's stuff. I don't ask for favors. If they want to let me in, then, but I make sure I tip their door girl, and but for the most part, I try to pay everywhere. And everybody like, yo, no, you good? No, it's because I get it. you're running a business, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about if we let every promoter in for free or everybody that's on a promotional team in for free, we would make no money,
Right.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I try to keep that same mindset and to say, like, I come to your business, I want to support it. You know, y'all know when I walk in, wherever, I'll show love to everybody. You know, because that's how I was taught. You know, it's like when you're not doing what you're doing out in the city, you know what I'm saying? Touching people, buying people drinks because they support you. So you guys, you know, you show them love back. And I know when I'm working, I'm drinking ginger ale for the most part. You know, I try to come and give everybody a shot towards the end of the night.
You see my face?
Think about how many times you asked me.
When you see Deni talking to somebody, when his wrist go like this. I seen him from across the room when he talking to somebody. He go, I'm like, oh yeah, he been drinking. Then he hit.
If you ask my team, for the most part, until every table is in, I'm usually on ginger ale. And then, you know, once every table is in, I go in, I'll touch every table, you know, and I have the conversation. I appreciate everybody, but the biggest thing is that I learn you know, I learn my guests, I learn my clients, I learn, you know, the people who come in. So by the time, if you hit me or one of my VIP, you know, staff members or bottle girl, you know, book somebody, I try to learn them as quick as possible, you know, and that allows me to be prepared. So if I look and I'm like, dang, they've been here, you know, one of the things I have my software, and we talked about this, right? Mm-hmm. My software creates basically a data profile of everybody, what you drunk, you know, how much you spend, you know, how often you come, you know, and I write notes just based off when I'm out. So like, I know when your birthday, or you told me, you know, this is the business you're working on, or this is the project you got. I go through that. And then the tables that we have, I go through that every 2 days. You know what I'm saying? Just to see where it's at. You know, if I follow you on social media or the company does, I say, hey, what was new? What did they post about? You know, just to try to think about, you know, what it is. Or I have one client who all he did is drink champagne. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll go out of town, this and that. He's a champagne drinker. You know, it doesn't matter what kind of champagne, but he's a champagne drinker, you know? So it's really hard to get him to take a shot. And if he takes a shot, it means he's had maybe 2 or 3 bottles done, you know? I could easily take advantage of that because I know what it is. I know how to, you know, change it, make him run it up. But I know that's his preference, you know? So I don't try to take you out of what you like. I just try to introduce you to something different in what you like, you know? So if he was just a Moet Ice or a Moet, you know, Imperial drinker, you know, I might put him up on some Vue Colette. I might put him on the PJ. And I wouldn't necessarily do it where I force him to buy it. I'll get it, you know, and I'll tell him come drink with me, you know, just because I you know, most of the liquors I've had to taste them over time. So I try to do that, you know, and get them accustomed to it. So then when they're like, yo, what was that you let me taste last time? This. Oh, let me get that, you know?
Smart.
That's kind of thing. I'm not putting on you. I just want you to experience it. That's part of it, right? You come to, if we stay in the same, you know, you think about it right now, everyone's either on Casamigos, Hennessy. People don't drink Ciroc that much anymore. Yeah. And you might get the Tito's going, you know? Outside of that, 1942, Casa Azul had this little run where everybody was bing-bonging. It's gone. It's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's gone. And you might get a couple people that still mess with it.
I still think it tastes better than 42.
Nah, it does.
Look, we've already proven this.
Nah, we didn't prove that it tastes better.
It's been a debate between them too.
We proved that
it get you
your next morning is different.
That wanna have you hugging the toilet.
Yeah. Like, but those are the hot pieces that most people gonna buy. You know, one from the show, and then when you go to champagnes, right? Black people, they either gonna do the Moet Nectar, the rosé bottle, or if they really want to spend, they go on the Ace, right? White people on the other side, they gonna do the Dom P, they gonna do the PJ, they gonna do some Velu, you know, Colette. Like, they gonna play around with it. Whereas the other side, our demographic, and even Latin people and Asians and Germans, like, you know, everyone has what they like. So I try to learn that, you know, out of anything, whether it's VIP people or regular guests. Like, I still know my first 30 people who came to Love Jones, my first Love Jones. I know when they come, how long they haven't been here. Not even look at the app, just because I remember their faces. Wow. You know, so those are big pieces for me, where most people see me and they're like, man, how you still remember me? I'm like, listen, I try to remember everybody. And I've had over the last 5 years, I had close to 17,000 people come through my event. So it's like, you know,
to know that still,
you know, I try to
crazy.
stay in it, you know, but that's what makes it different. And then outside of that is the programming, you know, and just like you said, the triple threat sign. Like no one was doing when I was coming to Tampa visiting, like you had that big black card, right? Yeah. You had the car, you know, but those things are all the same thing. Right. No one made it personable.
Right.
You know, after I came with the marquee sign and the LED birthday cake and making the photos, all that stuff, I was doing that in Miami and doing that in New York. You know, like that's traditional Vegas stuff. But here, no one was doing that. So for me, it was like, I'm all about knowing the people. I'm gonna make it personable.
Right.
Yeah. No one went personable. Like promoters and everything like that. They'll know your name. They'll know your birthday here and there. But like your business, you know, what you've been going through, your family, you know, when your anniversaries are, you know, if whether you just bought a new car, I bet you coming through, congratulations on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I try to go that point. I try to get my team to be in the same mindset. You know, if I miss it, it's usually because either team said that they got it, so I didn't necessarily touch on it. But for the most part, I try to do that, you know, and I try to get everybody to understand, like, when you create something that's customized to that person, they remember it. Yeah. You know? Yeah.
And for those of y'all that don't know, that sign was so, like, customized. Like, you would think, if you hadn't seen it just by hearing it say the triple threat sign, it was literally our picture. The picture that we used from when we first dropped the podcast of the three of us was on the sign.
A big one, too.
Big one.
I still got it.
You still got it?
Yeah, I still got it.
You should have brought it.
I know I should have.
Set it right here. But I don't know about you guys, but I've never been anywhere that did that. And when he did that, like seriously, when you did that, I was like, that's my nigga right there.
Love, man.
I couldn't believe it. I think all three of us were extremely shocked to see that, right?
Nah, facts.
You know, and don't get me wrong, we've had great experiences at other locations and stuff, but it's just that took it to the next level. Like, damn, you really cared that much to go that far to print out that picture, put it on the sign, have us lit up on there, you know.
Yeah, and you think about it, right?
Appreciate that.
I met you guys, what, maybe 2.5 years ago?
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, not like we've known each other for 5-10 years, you know, it's just interacting, learning, and seeing who you guys are and liking what y'all do. You know, I was like, oh, them boys coming. I know they've been killing the show. We gonna do this, you know?
Appreciate that, man.
Like, it's just that for me, you know, and you ask Jessica, like, we talk about this all the time. Like, when there's certain people, it's like, yo, such and such coming? Yeah. I remember when DRC, it was his birthday. I made a customized cake. Like, I went, got pictures of, like, him in his suit, him in the last team he played, him in, like, Halloween costumes, and, like, we want to present that to him, you know, because he show love. You know, I try to create that as much as possible. There's sometimes we get things late where you can't, you know, and that's kind of like my next thing and, like, my next venue where I'm going to have my print machine in the building. So, like, you show up, even if it's a last booking, I can make some shit,
crazy.
You know, type thing, you know? But that was, you know, for me, that's always a big thing. Like, you know, the marquee, we could do that. And I know everyone else started doing the marquees with the letters and, you know, different places. But when I can make you some custom stuff that no one else can do, can't touch it. Yeah. Can't touch it.
And that's huge. Like, I know we've talked about it before too, because we've been to many different VIP sections in different clubs, different promoters, different artists. And most of the time here, like outside of the big markets, the Vegas, LA's, New York, stuff like that, yes, they're they put a little more into it. In Tampa, I know when I got here, it was just like, all right, we want a table, we want these bottles. Okay, cool. Here's a couple sparklers. Here's your bottles, and we out. And half the time, you don't even see them again until it's time to get the check. Yeah. So it's like, all right, here I am spending thousands of dollars in here, and it's like I don't get that real feeling like I'm appreciated. Yeah. So being able to present that and give that feeling to somebody who's in there spending that kind of money is definitely a huge deal. So I definitely salute you on that because you doing your thing, partner.
I try, man. And I know y'all don't always like the lights too. And that was the tricky thing. You know, it's like sometimes, you know, you got some people want to be in the cut. They don't want to deal with nothing. And I'm like, them boys. Everybody's like, but they don't really like the lights all the time. I'm like, they gonna like this one.
Definitely.
That was fine.
They gonna like this one.
You mentioned someone that I'm a big fan of, and I definitely could see you being I don't even want to say the black version of him, just being your own self at the end of the day, but being somewhat of following some of the same footsteps that he followed, which is David Grutman.
Yeah.
And I think you said that y'all went to school together.
So he went to University of Miami, and lived in. So when he first started working at Aventura and like a mall out there, I used to go there all the time with my cousin. My cousin's what, 46 now. He went to school with Mike Gardner, who does Headliner. Yeah. So that's really how I kind of got into the nightlife business. Being a part of the street team. And this
you might know my friend Angel. He used to work at for Live and everything. You might know if I show you a picture of him. But anyways, go ahead.
So like that's really how it started. It was getting to that side and kind of seeing, that promotional life. And, Mike Gardner, only thing Mike Gardner's missing right now in my book is, he doesn't have his own venue,
right.
But he's got some amazing, the 2 venues that he do have are amazing.
All you need.
That's all you need, and to have somebody like Dave Grutman, you think about Dave Grutman, when they first started, Dave Grutman, his whole backstory is like, no one wanted to hire him. He was a bartender in Aventura Mall at a little bar there. The guy who owned the mall, saw something in him, gave him an opportunity. That same guy ended up buying the Fontainebleau, and making it, remodel it. And then they wanted to open up a club. He ended up opening up Live. And Live was dying. Live wasn't making no money, but it was the infusion of Headliner and all those things to make it into that big brand that it is now, which that gave Dave Grutman the capital and the notoriety to now have Story, to have Komodo, to have Swan, to have Poppy Steak. Now they got Winker, sushi fried chicken. They're about to open up another Komodo in Dallas.
Getting ready to open to Live in Vegas.
To Live in Vegas, nonstop. And that all came from a couple of years, literally right before the pandemic, maybe like 6-7 months before the pandemic. He sold half the company to Live Nation. So now he got endless of cash.
Right.
You think about how that happened for him, in a sense where you can't throw parties, can't go to restaurants. Everyone shut down for a whole year and some change, but he had just sold half his company.
Man, that's crazy.
So he can do all the things that he want to do. He opened up as soon as we were out of COVID, boom, Strawberry Moon and, hotel with Pharrell. Like, you're like, what? Like, how? Yeah. When I look at that, I'm like, where's the black guy that?
Exactly.
I want that. Because that right there, you look at where he started to where he is now, Dave Grutman, if you look at like his story, like he's playing tennis, he's traveling with his wife, playing with his kids, but at night, he's in all his venues. Like he touches them and this and that, but it's the team, the core team that's been around there, like his executive team, solid, solid.
So how do we get Deni to that level? What's missing?
I think right now,
I think he's getting there.
I'm
bro.
getting
He
there.
definitely is getting
I'm
there,
getting there.
Because if you think about it, not to cut you off, but where was he at when we started off? What was it? Love Jones once a month?
Mm-hmm.
Now we're at every other Thursday.
Every other Thursday.
And now how many different events you got going on a week
6
now?
different events. So we got Sunset and Sounds, which is like a live music experience. I wanted to create that. A lot of times, you got Crowbar, you got Ritz Ebor, or Orpheum, where people come. Man, but we're the real singers. Like, I want to get Aria Lennox down here. I want to get, LMAO. I want to get the Lucky Dick. I want to get Eric Bellinger, and we don't have that place where just local talent. Like, we got a lot of great local talent, so I wanted to create that. So Monday night, we got a Loco Tuesday, with the affiliates. Amazing right now. There is no, I was telling you guys earlier, there is no Latin, driven Taco Tuesday. You got your tree houses, you got your green lemons, you got your sevens, you got your deluxe, with Big Chris, and those are all hip hop focused. But that Latin culture, like Taco Tuesday, like that's a Mexican thing. You know what I'm saying? Like that whole day and that experience comes from them, and there's nothing for them in the downtown area. And I was like, let's get a place with good food. You know, shout out to Chef Celeste, who's amazing. She came in. You know, we worked on the different menus with her and my partner, Naveed. Like we talked about every menu that we have right now for our different nights. Like that was one of the things we wanted to push. We wanted to make sure the food was good. You know, we know everyone's gonna drink. You're gonna drink. You know, on Tuesday the tequila's gonna go, whatever the case may be. But when you eat that food and you like, damn.
Is she the one that made those wonton tacos, bro?
Listen,
Yeah, Celeste
don't play.
When I see you, I gotta shake your hand and hug you or something. Those wonton tacos, oh my God,
like fire.
So they're on your Taco Tuesday event too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got that, and press play with with you guys, and the YC Network, Yoshi and Courtney, and then Makeup and Breakup Martini with Sultan Nicole. Like that for me was, I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? I'm 35 years old. Like let's have a vibe where we come and talk. We having conversations. You know, we have our own version of a game night. And let loose. Like we don't have speakeasies for us.
That's true.
We don't have like that midweek happy hour where you just come chill and have fun. No one else want to do it. I'll do it. You know what I'm saying? I know what that's gonna open up the door down the line for what I want to do. Right. Love Jones is the marquee event. Right. It ain't going nowhere. Everyone asks me now. People. There's a lot of other R&B parties. Some people are bringing artists. Other people doing this. I'm like, I don't worry about that. I try to keep it authentic. Give you an experience when you come in, and make sure that you're taken care of. Whether you're a VIP guest or a regular guest. We try to make sure you do that. Yeah. And get my service. I tell everyone the service is the most important thing. We try to get the services as good as we can. Anything I can do to make it better, that's what I'm trying to do. Yeah. Friday, our Magic Hour. We started Magic Hour originally with the affiliates. Early last year, late last year, and now we're kind of changing over. We're going to be doing our Friday night with Big Chris and QC. And that for me was, I miss Kennedy. You know what I'm saying? I miss that Kennedy. You think about it, where we go on Friday right now.
That's true.
There is no Friday party. There's nothing that got that energy, that got that sexy, that got that the DJs and that energy. So I was like, yo, I want to create that, and so, that was something that I had already had in the tuck, with the team. Like I want to be able to bring the 2 Chainz, the Rosses, the Babs, the Gunners. You know what I'm saying? Like our venues. We're fortunate that our venue is probably one of the biggest venues out of everybody. So like I could bring in a couple people, and you not feel like you're on top of each other. Right. And we can still create that. Don't get me wrong, but you have room to move around. And then Saturday, like our standard Saturday, that was all about Caribbean culture. So I'm Haitian. My parents are Haitian. So I know there is no reggae, Afrobeat,
I miss
compa, soca partying downtown. There's nothing that you can say, oh, we gonna go right here. So every other week, I got something for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's nice.
Like we gonna create that. And then my Sundays, we're working on a brunch. We've done the brunch before, and the brunch that we want to do, we want to really do like a New York brunch. So in New York, there's a place called Lavo that, brunch starts at 12. You don't get out till 6.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying?
On some DC type stuff.
DC, it's a mix between New York Lavo and DC Park 14th. And
bro, I used to love
like,
Park 14th.
Man, what?
That's what we have.
Some middays there.
Listen,
like those. That's the party. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Sunday, that's the thing where I'm like, I see what's going on, but trust me, when right now, everyone asks like, why you don't do this on a Sunday? Let football season finish. Because we don't have TVs, right? So I tell everybody, I'm not competing with people I don't got TVs. Y'all gonna go watch the game. Right. When football season ends, you gotta come see me. So see me.
Well, let's back you up to Wednesday night. Press play.
Press play, baby.
So y'all missed the first one, man. It was amazing. We had a blast, right?
Yeah, that was dope.
It was like I don't think I've ever been to a game night that was like that.
Me neither.
So. And as a matter of fact, by the time this episode drops, won't it be time for another one?
It'll be time for another one.
Next week.
I'm going to say this.
Actually, it dropped the same
day.
Same day.
Yeah.
So y'all pull up on us tonight.
Exactly.
Come to press play and get your game on. I'm telling you, It's y'all probably thinking, oh, we're gonna be playing Uno, and nah. It's Uno with a twist. And what was the name of that game we were playing?
Oh man, some culture or something.
Culture tag.
Culture tags. Yeah.
Man, look, just Google it. Yo. Google it. It was crazy.
It was funny.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Wednesday special with me. Only reason because, you know, you guys aren't promoters, you know, and that was one of the things I wanted to do was I didn't, you know, I love Paige, you know, the affiliates. You know, I got a great relationship with Big Chris and QC, and you know Ralph, who's on my team. You know what we do on the Caribbean nights. It's cool. I wanted something that wasn't promotional focused, like it was grown shit, some shit. But for you guys, you know, you guys, Sultana and Nicole, you know, Yoshi and Courtney. I've been watching y'all start y'all podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember when Sultana and Nicole started in their conversation they used to have when they used to go on live. I be in that thing going in, you know? And then Yoshi and Courtney, you know, they like sisters, you know, and to me. And the crazy thing about them is that, you know, they're from Baltimore. So they're not even of the Tampa makeup, you know. I really build a relationship with them from my time being in working in DC, but getting a chance to go out to Baltimore and BA, and I'm like, yo. When I met them, I was like, yeah, y'all not from here, but I like this energy.
Yeah, they be turned up.
They turned up. And I was like, I need that. You know what I'm saying? I need to work with people like that. You know, and then with you guys, it was like, you guys not only talked about, you know, financial literacy and putting people entrepreneurship, but then you go deeper into those conversations where I sit down, I'm like, man, well, I go through that. You know what I'm saying? Like dating an entrepreneur and understanding women and all that, you know, like that's the other side of the business where you interact with so many women and so many people, and everyone's like, what's going on? I'm like, man, I be so locked into this. Like, if you ain't locked into this, I can't do nothing for you, you know? Like I was telling y'all with Aisha, you know, Aisha's like my best friend, you know, that's my lady, no matter what. And she, you know, she was like, listen, I want to do this. Like, you got this live music thing, that's what I want to do, you know? Like, that's the biggest thing. Like, you need someone who understands that, you know, and it doesn't mean that she gets my time all the time because I'm dealing with everybody else, but she knows, like, yo, I'm building this to hopefully one day to get to the day Grutman, and you know, we could be on the tennis court. You know,
Thanks.
But press play. Listen, you want a battle? You want a good night? This is where you need to come, because these conversations get dicey. You know what I'm saying?
I would say I think that's the best part. The conversation, and getting like the input from everybody in the audience.
You know, they get dicey, and that's what I love. Like I told them, you know, when we had our photo shoot meeting, and just they were hanging out, drinking, and they just boom, the conversation started. I'm still mad at you because you had to leave, but I understand. You know, and they held it down. I was like, yo, this is exactly how it needs to go. We need everybody come in, grab your drink, say what's up, and then that conversation start. You see the personalities, you see the mindsets, you see you know how people even look at one themselves, but then look at life. Right. You know, that's important. You know, we're as we get older, we gotta get comfortable in having those conversations. And I think that, man, press play is that. You know, press play is that. And it's a double entendre because it's also saying press play on y'all podcast. Yeah. You know, so it's like, let's press play on these conversations, but don't forget to press play on these conversations. Absolutely.
So let me ask you, so somebody that's watching this, let's say, and they're like, I want to get to Deni level, right? What like advice would you tell somebody, let's say they're 18? Where should they start at?
Be a street promoter. Okay. You got friends, you know, you got people who want to go out, especially when you're young. You want to go out, you know, be a street promoter. Find your favorite party or the club you like. Find out who the head promoter is or whoever's putting together, and ask them to teach you. You know, be that. Because when I started, that was it. You know, I was passing flyers, and that the thing that made me different was I knew how to take pictures, and I was a video guy. So I'll go pass the flyers, and then I'll be in there with my camera. You know, so I'm getting all these shots and video clips. You know, and that kind of opened up the door for me to meet other people, you know, and that helped me with relationships. Like right now, if I want, you know, I call Ace, yo, I'm trying to do a show. Boom, would you come host out? You know, Khaled, boom. Khaled sent me a Christmas gift. And I haven't seen Khaled maybe a year and a half, you know, because of the pandemic, you know, but like it's, you know, those relationships, you get those at the ground level.
Right.
Yeah.
You get those at the ground level, being a street team person, learning, because the same people you were inviting to go out to your parties, or you just told them, it's like, whether you're in Tampa, Miami, any city, people are traveling everywhere.
Mhm.
And when you have tourists who don't know what's going on, but you're on the street, and you got the flyers. I think nowadays we get so lost in that, because I started bringing that back. Like, we get lost in just the social side of it, being on Instagram, being on Twitter, but passing out the flyers still work, man. That's when you meet the most new people. There's always things that if you're connected with a good enough venue, sky's the limit.
You hear something crazy, bro? Y'all might not know this, but I used to do that.
What?
Yeah.
I can see you doing that for
I
some
used to
reason.
pass out
For
the
some reason, I
damn
can see you
flyers.
doing it.
But I wasn't smart enough to still focus on school.
Okay.
So I ended up getting suspended for a semester because my grades kept dropping. Yeah, man.
I've been there.
I didn't pull the Deni. Oh, you got suspended too?
Listen,
What?
I'm gonna say this,
Yeah.
and I really don't like to talk about this,
Mhm.
right? I'm James St. Patrick.
Mm.
Like, the life the Deni now is not the Deni you would have known when I was 20, between 14 and 20.
Mm.
That's what's up.
Just based off of where I grew up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, I grew up. I'm from Broward, like Pompano Beach, like
Okay.
Kodak world,
Yeah.
like that. The Zoes, with the shits.
Right.
Like, I grew up in that era when, like, Haitians in school, like, we were fighting every day, type thing. So to go from being a wild knucklehead to learning, like, yo, you can make some real money out here if you build the relationships with the right people, and and go.
Yeah.
But this
Shout
is
out to
perfect
growth.
though, because you come across a lot of young guys who you'll find yourself trying to mentor, and they'll be like, "Well, I didn't have all these opportunities, and I don't have the opportunities you had." And you're like, "How do you know what opportunities I had? Because you're meeting me where I am now. You don't know where I came from."
Facts.
So this is a perfect example of somebody who's been somewhere and is going somewhere.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of you, bro.
Listen, man.
Yeah. I
Be
think
like y'all.
I think probably the most important thing that you just mentioned is getting it starting at the ground level and working your way up, because now we're in a time of instant gratification. Nobody wants to start at the ground level. Everybody wants to go straight to being a boss. And there's so many of these self-proclaimed bosses, hustlers that claim they doing this and that. But it's like, okay, when you really look back on it, how many lives have you affected? You can say none. How can you call yourself a boss?
Right.
So you got to be willing to do the dirty work first and and work your way up.
Yeah.
And that's what so many people miss. So I think that was definitely an important message that everybody should take heed to.
The ground level, man.
Yeah.
In anything, if you can get the ground level, because when you understand what the person at the bottom of the ladder goes through, as you move up, you get it.
Right.
If you're a decent person,
Yeah.
you're gonna reach back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna reach back because you remember when you wish somebody would have reach your, put their hand out to reach you up. So the ground level teaches you that.
Tell us, man, a crazy nightlife story, man. Not in Tampa. We ain't not in Tampa. We don't put
I want to hear one of the Tampa ones.
Nah, not in Tampa, because they might be watching this specifically.
Well,
But
I'm sure it's probably some better ones in shit.
That's what I was
LA,
gonna say.
New York,
Yeah.
so New York.
Okay.
I use New York. So one thing about New York, New York's that city, man. Money's everywhere, And when you're in nightlife in New York, the models, they out there, like they're nonstop. But the guys with the paper, they come from everywhere. And just like I tell people, when you look at shows like Power, like that stuff. I had one client, this guy, if he didn't have ecstasy or LSD, he wasn't coming out the house. Like, he wasn't. Like, he needed that. Like, he needed that and then alcohol. And I'm like, yo, that's the craziest mix you could never have. But for him, he was a financial broker. Like, during the day, making people money, got millions. And it was kind of like a nerd, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't like the fly, the suavest guy, so to speak. But he had money. And in New York, if you got money, there's a lot of things you could get. You know? I remember having him getting into like a high speed chase on his way home.
What?
Man, if it wasn't for a friend, so my VIP director in New York at the time, his older brother was a cop. So he basically like intervened in the chase. And that's kind of like got him off the hook, you know, let him know, yo, this guy works for Bloomberg and, you know, like he needs to get home type thing. Right. You know? And those kind of nights when you get in a phone call and it's like 5 o'clock in the morning and you're like their VIP host and they're like, yo, the cops are chasing me right now. You know, you don't know how, because you don't know where they are.
Right.
You know, so you're asking them, put on your location, let me see where you at, you know, and then you got to pull out one of your favors. You know, that was the thing, you know, being in New York, like I said, those relationships, you got to have them, you know. It was just so happened that my VIP director at the time, he had a relationship. His brother was a cop, and, you know, he kind of intervened into that. But that's been probably one of my craziest, because when you are the person that's supposed to help navigate their night, you know, if he goes to jail, you know, it's done, right? Because he's blaming you. You know, you was the one supposed to look out. You planned his night. You know, you helped facilitate the drug deal. You helped make sure he got the liquor. Man. You know, you brought the girls to his section. You know what I'm saying? And you let him go home. You know, this is early days when Uber wasn't as prominent. Taxis were still going crazy. And in New York, after a certain time, taxis don't run like that. Right. You know, Subway's gone, so you can't even, you know, Subway's done. So it's like you're taking that risk to allow that person to go home. You know, God forbid they die, they kill somebody. Right. You know, it's on you. So after I went through that, I was like, nah, we doing limo service. We just gonna add that into your fee. Limo service, it's rent service, and that's what we do it. You know. You know, now in this city, you call Uber and it's, you know, back then, But that's probably one of my craziest, just because if something would happen, man, you know, I don't know, those kind of things when someone trusts you to have, you know, their night in your hands and they go through that, it's a tough one, you know. So that's probably one of my craziest.
So what's next? What's next for Deni? What's next for Full Moon, Brandon? What's next 5 years? Give us a little. What
you can give us too, you know. Sometimes
just a little roadmap, but something we can look forward to.
So for me and my partners, Full Moon is my company, my management and marketing company. But our investment group company is called the Sunset Group. You know, what we've been working on is 3 other concepts. One's gonna be a restaurant. The other one's a cocktail bar, and then we got a nightclub. Now this nightclub, like I told y'all, you know, learn from, you know, from the headliners, the David Grutmans. Right. We ain't got no live-size nightclub in Tampa.
Sure don't.
You know what I'm saying? We ain't got no marquee. You know, we ain't got no Dre's. Like, I want that.
You know? I want that.
You know? I'm tired. I'm tired of the small clubs, 5,000 square feet, 4,000 square feet. We gotta go to a little box and this and that. You know, and I ain't gonna lie, I ain't got no problems with people with water. But I want my own pool. I want my own day club. I'm tired of going over there and only hearing dubstep music.
Right.
You know, and you ask for a little bit of it. They won't do that. But when it's a big event time, you gonna get, you know, a Tory Lanez, there's Amigos, isn't that? Nah, we ain't. I love y'all. I'm still, you know, Piper, I'm gonna still show up. Don't worry. You know, I got you. But we need that. You know what I'm saying? We need that. You know, we need that in the city. You know, the restaurant concept for us is called Rhythm and Beauty. And it's centered around music. So I actually got inspired by a restaurant in New York called Beauty and Essence. The Town Group. Yeah. You know, like I said, they got one in New York, LA, and Vegas. Yeah. And I just love the elegance of it. You know, we don't got no elegant Black-owned restaurant. You know, like when people come to town, you know, y'all either taking them to Burns, you're taking them to Meat Market, you're taking them to Eddie V's, you're gonna take them to Ocean Prime. You know, I like going, you know, my brothers, you know, S. Donnie, like, yo, those guys, you know, what they do at Rose Bar, amazing. You know, Seventh Grove, Kalia, Jamaris, you know, I've supported them since the beginning, you know, and they're great. But we need that high-end joint where it's like, it don't matter. You got a corporate meeting, you want to invite somebody, put it on and come eat. You know what I'm saying? Like that, we need that. Yeah, you know, we don't got that. Sure. Like we need that. You know? And Beauty in Essence, especially in LA or in Vegas, like, you know, you gonna see everything in there. Yeah. Everything in there. You know. Like I want to create that, my own version of that. You know, and then the cocktail bar is really, for me, it was, we don't have lounges like, even with us, right? We're to a fault of that, but it goes back to like with Press Play. Like there's no place where you could really just come and hang out and have a drink. Yeah. All of the places are so small that we have to do the bottle service to make that money. You know, for me, I'm looking for like a 9,000, 10,000 square feet place, which I got a spot, but I'm not saying nothing. No, you know, where, you know, we could have 50 sections, you know what I'm saying? And it's table. It's not, we're not worrying about the booking and you got to have this. No, it's, hey, we want a table. We want to come and smoke hookah, get us a drink, chill with our girls. All right, cool. We got a seat for you. You know, like if you think about it right now, I want to say in one floor, if we talk about just one floor, I probably got the most section out of everybody in club. Because I got 24 sections flat. I think 7th has maybe 18, 19, because I know they've added a couple, especially with the second floor. You know, Lit only has maybe 12 at that. You know, and then if you go to Tanger and Eden, they have other ones. And then, you know, if you go farther out, like the Armenians and stuff like that. But for me, I was like, yo, I need bigger space. I want us to get that place where we can go. Like you think about hookah lounges now, you think about, you know, the Soho saloons and all these things, like the lodges. Everyone's big on the bottle. So it doesn't mean you can't buy a bottle. You can do that. But they Grutman got a Swan. They got, you know what I'm saying, you go upstairs in the Komodo Lounge, you know what I'm saying? Like, where are those chill locations? You know what I'm saying? We need those here. We need those. You know? Like, you go to DC, man, go to Mirror Lounge, go to Ozio, go to Park. Oh, Ozio, that's my spot right. You go to, you know, go holler at my guys over at St. E's. Like, you know, they got the space where you could do that. You know, Atlanta, shoot, you think about Compound, how big it is. You know, granted, that's a different beast in itself. You know, like, they're gonna get this money. You know, but that space, like, there's no. You think about it right now. Who has a big enough club to do inside and then turn around and do a day party outside like Compound does? Like, you don't got that. Yeah. And Tampa doesn't mean you don't got the people. We got the bodies. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We got the bodies. We got people who want to come out. We just need the places where, you know, you could pull up and it's consistent. Yeah, that's the thing. You know, I want to get to. I tell everybody now with like how we do our program with the every other week. I'm consistent in it. You might not get it every week like most people want, but our every other week is consistent. If I don't have an event, it's either because, one, my staff, I want to give them a break because we're going back to back, or I'm planning something bigger. Or I'm doing like an improvement. So I need that time. For the most part, be consistent. You know, Love Jones gonna be every other week. You know, Press Play, Sunset and Sounds. Local Tuesday now is gonna be every Tuesday, but you know, even our Saturdays every other week. You know what I'm saying, like, you know, you're gonna get that consistency from us. I want to get to the point where it's 5-6 days a week, and you know, oh, we're gonna go here. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go here and we're gonna do that. You know, and you don't have to worry about it changing. You know, we struggle in the nightlife business and just in the ownership business when you're doing parties because our places are so small. So we have to charge what we charge to, you know, cover expenses, you know, cover overhead and stuff like that. You know, even with me, like I did a whole remodel, you know, and to make that space, so prices go up a little bit, but in God willing, like 4 months, you'll see where the prices dip to, and you're like, what? Like, because for me, it's like we just need the places. We need the places that keep a certain feel, a certain standard to come in. Want that? Like I pride big on that because I know we're never gonna be in Miami or LA, you know, or stuff like that. We might have some star power that come and move here, you know, but those places are transient cities. Like
Right.
people are coming every day.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, to spend money, to get fucked up, to go eat, and to party.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Tampa is more a family style, corporate living. You know, opportunity to have some entrepreneurs and create stability.
Right.
So for me, it's like, all right, if that's the case, we need big enough places so everybody could come in and hang out. That's it.
Yep.
You know, you think about Ritz Ybor. That sucker's packed every week.
Mm-hmm.
It's massive though.
Yeah.
It's huge.
No seats though. You think about it, right?
Yeah.
The red room got what? 4 sections, and then that big room outside of the little balcony is just open space.
Yeah. It'd be
Open
packed every
space.
time.
You know, like where's that? You know, I want the feel where you can just come hang out, and that that's a concept. And then we got one more, which is based off of in Atlanta, this place called the Gathering Spot. I love the Gathering Spot, and I think that as Tampa's growing and with a lot of entrepreneurs and people in their own business, we need a place with more like-minded conversation. That's kind of what Press Play is too.
Yeah.
It's like creating those fireside chats and having the opportunity to do seminars. Like we don't have a place where that can be a home for us, and I want to be one of the people to kind of bring that. I think that's important. So those are the concepts. That's in the near future, next 4 to 5 years, baby. Unless God calls me home, take me away or shoot, something happened with my family where I have to go back home. This is it. This is it, and we're gonna push that. I've lived everywhere else, so I'm cool.
Cool here.
Cool.
Well, man, listen, we appreciate you coming on the show, Deni, man.
Appreciate you guys having me.
The stories that you told us, I mean, I learned a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you didn't live twice, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Living all those different places and stuff.
3 times, man. 3 times. 3 times, baby.
Nah, but for people that's watching, man, shout out to social media. What's your handles? You can make sure.
Brave Director at Deni Brave Director and Full Moon Branding.
Perfect.
And everything else, Sunset and Sounds at Local Tuesday, at Press Play Wednesday, at Love Jones on Thursday, and Magic Hour on Fridays.
Perfect. So we make sure we include all of those in the show notes. Watch this on YouTube. It'll definitely be in the description. Make sure you guys go follow Deni. If you're in Tampa any of those days, make sure you show up because, listen, it's a vibe. It's an experience you're never going to experience anywhere else, man.
Appreciate
you. So, once again, like I said, we definitely appreciate you being on. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe to the channel.
And send it to a friend.
Yeah, send it to a friend, actually. Share it, all right?
Yeah.
So if you're on social media, make sure you tag. We'll have our handles in the show notes and stuff. Tag us. Let us know you like this episode and tag us in there so we can repost it on our story. Let us know how you enjoyed this episode. So, Deni, man, once again, appreciate you, bro.
Thank you, guys. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
All right, so we signing off, man. One of your hosts, Chris Bruce, a.k.a. Detroit Mogul.
The other host, Brian Keys, a.k.a. BK609.
And it's Vic Gurley, a.k.a. MVP Vic. We out.
To help wash my pain away. Now I don't make a payment late. New estate got my name on the